everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Nordic Block Podcast. I'm your host, LeBlock James. I'm joined here by my lovely co-host here, Tim Egler.
How we doing? James, how we doing?
We're doing good. Today it's episode 77, and we have no Nordic with us. That means we can do whatever we want. Yeah.
It's table episode?
Yeah. Please stay.
Well, no, wrong. I said that wrong. It's the Unk table. It's the Unction.
Please stay. We're going to be a really fun episode without Nordic 97, which means anything can happen. Anyway, let's get right into this. We'll be able to talk about the news around the NHL that's happening. There's been a couple signings, been a trade. Why don't we get right into it? I want to start with I think we're going to start with the biggest news of the week, which was Mike Matheson signed an extension with Montreal for 5 years at an AAV of $5 million per year. Mike Matheson, I'm just getting his age up right here because I am not prepared enough. He's 31 years old. This contract is going to take him until he is 36, 37 years old. Tim, how do you feel about this contract?
AAV wise, I don't know why I thought it was a lot more when it was announced. I thought it was around 7. Thank God it's not for a Montreal's standpoint. I think the term, just looking at it from a term perspective, is a little long. 5 mil is probably around where he should be. But yeah, at his age, you don't really want to be giving him $5 million or 5, not 5 mil, 5 years. You don't want to be giving him another 5 years till he's like 36, 37. Because he's probably only got good 2-3 years left in him.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's always that 35 and up, like buyout bonus if you have to get to that point. And it's always stuff like that you got to remember.
Yeah, for me, from Montreal's standpoint, I just don't know. I'm just going to say this. He's been good for Montreal. He's very good last year for the Habs. This year he's been decent. But I look at Montreal in the long term of things. Let's see their decor. They have Lane Hudson, who's probably going to be the number one defenseman for many years to come. They have Noah Dobson, who they just signed to a big extension. And after that, you got guys in the pipeline like David Reinbacher, who should be coming up soon. They did trade Logan Mailloux, so they lost some defensive depth there. I'm trying to think of the defensive prospects they have right now. Caden Gooley, I totally forgot about Caden Gooley. Caden Gooley, who is injured right now.
I was going to say, he's injured, so that's probably why you forgot about him.
He's going to be, and he's a solid number 2. So having Matheson there, that's going to take playing time away from some of these younger defensive prospects, I feel. And Matheson, I'm going to say this right now, when you set a player after 30 years old, is always a risk.
Yeah.
And the risk right now is that Mike Matheson could age like fine wine, or could age like bad cheese.
Yeah,
so Mike Matheson has shown his worth, and the Habs have shown that they want to keep him around. I don't hate the term though. Not the term. I don't hate the AAV.
The AAV. Yeah. The AAV is good.
The term, I feel like I would have think a 2 to 3 year deal would have been a lot safer for Montreal. But hey, they got their defensive core basically locked down now. So I like the move for Montreal going forward.
Yeah. I think just in terms of, like you said, the biggest thing for that is signing a guy who's in his 30, who's above the age of 30 to a long-term deal. There's always going to be a risk of that just with the age and the age curve. And how will he age? What will he age well? Will he age poorly? Only time is going to be able to tell with that.
Yeah, pretty much. Moving on, Alex Texier was released today. Was released this last week by the St. Louis Blues. Terminated, just was not working out there. Hits the market, and then he signs with the Montreal Canadiens, who we just talked about, signing like Mike Matheson. I think this move for the Canadiens is going to be decent. They need bottom 6 help, so I feel like he's a good bottom 6 forward and needs a fresh start. He's had a very rough go of things ever since he came back from France of Columbus, and he got traded because he wasn't working out in Columbus, then it wouldn't work out in St. Louis. Just a guy I feel like he hasn't found his footing, and I think Montreal, he could be a good place to find his footing. He signed a 1 year, $1 million contract, so it's very low risk, high reward for Montreal.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you there. Just in fact, like it's a 1 year deal. It's 1 mil. You're not really giving up anything for it. And from all of his time in the NHL, he's shown flashes of being a good player. I think he's more of a bottom sixer, which when you look at Montreal and all the injuries that they're going through right now, that's what they need. They need help in that bottom six. And I think Texier could be a really good player for him. I know there were a lot of teams that were trying to get Texier. Montreal was the benefactor of
Being
his choice,
being
and
French.
yeah, him being French probably had a little bit to do with it, for all we know. But I don't see how this move can really work for Montreal. It's like we said, 1 year. You're not giving up a lot of money, and if it doesn't work out at the end of the year, well, then he's gone.
Well, Montreal so far, the past only 3 games he's played with them, he has 1 point in 3 games played. He's a -3 as well, which but it's still early, so I hope. I'm just going to mention this that Sam Hellenius did re-sign with the Los Angeles Kings at 1.75 2 year deal. It's not that big of a notice, but with the big trade today, I say big trade, but at this point of the season when there's a trade, like, oh my God,
It's a trade.
blockbuster, we got movers and shakers. Um, the Kings acquire Nikita Alexandrov in exchange for Akil Thomas. Now, Akil Thomas was I would say he was a pretty highly touted prospect a couple years ago. Um, Not so much anymore. I think he's been with, yeah, he's only played 3 games this year. No, he's played one, not even a game this year, actually, now that I look at his stats. He's been with, Ontario the
Yeah.
whole year. Um, Nothing there, and I feel like these are just two players who really needed, change of scenery, maybe to spice it up in their AHL. But Alexandrov played 1 game for the Blues in September, so his preseason game. So yeah, so nothing really doing there. Just a swap of minor leaguers, I would say at this point.
Yeah, just two 25-year-olds who both drafted, I believe, in the 20. I believe
2018, yeah.
Thomas was taken in 2018 and Alexandrov in the 2019 draft. So both these guys, they're no longer really prospects per se. They're both 25, but at some point, you just hoping with a trade like that, you're hoping a change of scenery can spark something with the guy. We've seen players be late bloomers before, maybe, and that's what both of these teams are hoping for is just one these guys to be maybe late bloomers at 25, see if something sticks. And if it does, great, it's found money. If not, oh well, you tried.
Yeah, and these guys like they're about 0.75 point per game in the AHL. Akil Thomas, 4 goals, 9 assists in 19 games. Alexandrov has 3 goals and 11 assists in 18 games. So these aren't like by AHL standards, these aren't slouches. These are guys who can produce. So hopefully they get the opportunity to get to the net next level. If not, it's whatever. It's a swap that happened, and probably just look back at it and just say, "Yeah, that happened."
Yeah.
Moving on.
When it happened, it looked like a nothing burger type deal, anyways.
Moving on. I think this is our biggest news of the day here. The Olympics are coming up, and we're excited for that. But there's some concern with the arena that's going to be housing ice hockey in Milan. And the big concern is that the rink is going to be smaller than anticipated.
Yeah. So standard NHL rink is 200 feet long by 85 feet wide.
Mhm.
For Canadians, that's 60.96 meters by 21.91 meters. The IIHF approved a 60 by 26 meter sheet of ice, which seems all fine and dandy, but then when you look at it by terms of feet, it's 196.85 feet by 85.3 feet. So it's 3 feet shorter, and you think of that, and you're like, oh, that's not that big of a difference. But no, Like you're basically taking out almost the entire area behind the net. If you look at just a normal sheet of ice, probably a little. You still have some room behind the net, but you're taking out like a good chunk of ice just from behind the net, and that plays a big factor, and especially for most of these teams that are going to be dominated by more European talent who are used to the bigger surface in general.
Mm.
Olympic ice surface, an Olympic sheet is always bigger, and now you're going from what you were expecting to be a larger sheet of ice to now it's even smaller than an NHL rink. That's going to throw some of these European based teams for a loop. I don't think this should be anything where the NHL like throws a hissy fit over and doesn't go, like holds out and doesn't go, because they still should, and I still think they will. But it's definitely not the most ideal circumstances for this to happen.
Yeah, I had a tweet here. Um, 3 to 4 feet smaller of an ice surface at the Olympics is going to be a serious injury hazard when guys have even a fraction of a second less time to brace for impact and make decisions.
Yeah, and that's going to be the biggest thing. Is That's probably the biggest thing the NHL is going to mull over for a little bit is how much more risk does this put all the NHLers at for injury?
My thing is, and the thing that the people who are building these buildings and for these ice areas, they said, "quote There's no backup plan. This is it."
Yeah, that's the biggest problem. Is
And
that how do you not have a backup plan?
the thing is, I think the NHL holds the cards here because if they pull out, they're going to lose a lot of money.
Oh yeah,
Not, I mean, the NHL will lose money, yeah, but they'll just make that back quickly. The IOC will lose money though,
yeah. The
because
IOC and the IIHF they're going to take a giant hit in revenue
like
compared to what they could be getting if the NHL goes.
the Olympics don't make money as it is. That's a whole different conversation though.
Yeah,
But like this is a series, and it's gonna be come down to like if we see a bunch of injuries happen because of this,
the
that's gonna
NHL
be a
will never go
problem.
back.
We'll never go back, and that'd be horrible for the game because we waited so long for Olympic hockey to be the best on best, and then for them to just take it back away. I'll be
Yeah,
devastated.
like it'll hurt. We had this what like 12.
12,
Yeah, around 12 years because last one was what 14.
yeah, 14.
Yeah, we like 2014. Yeah, damn, God, world.
Yeah,
14 years. It's been nope, not 14. It's been
12 years.
12 years since you've had best on best at the Olympics. Granted, are we still fully calling it best on best with all the Russia stuff going on? But that's a whole different
That's
can
a
of
whole
worms.
different conversation. We don't need to get into that
We
can of
don't need to go
worms.
there, but
Yeah.
it's still just best on best, getting all the NHL talent there, and to not have that, like to have it one year and then like all this stuff happened, and the NHL's like, nope, yeah, we're not doing this again. Like that'll just hurt the growth of the game in general, which is the biggest, and
Mm.
that's the biggest thing with going over to the Olympics is if you go, you grow the game 10 times more than if you don't go.
Like, yeah, Four Nations is cool and all, but nothing like the Olympics. Like everybody watches the Olympics.
Yeah. The Olympics is a world thing, whereas the Four Nations, like only it's
Four Nations.
literally four.
Yeah.
Like you had so many other countries who could have been involved in the Four Nations, but because it was set up so quick, it could only be four.
Hmm.
Which now I think they're going to turn that into like a World Cup of hockey, so that'll be like get up to like 8 maybe, which I think will still be a good thing. But it's still not like an 8-team World Cup tournament is still not the same thing as the Olympics.
Yeah. Anything else you want to talk? Any more comments on the Olympic situation? Or would you like to move on?
No, I think we're all good there. I think we hammered home the big point of just this has to go well.
Yes.
Like the IOC needs it to go well. The IIHF needs it to go well. We cannot have a lot of injuries at the Olympics, or just for hockey fans in general. This may be the last time we ever see NHLers go to the Olympics for a while.
Yeah. Um, From the Olympics to controversy.
Go.
Carter Hart made his debut tonight with the Vegas Golden Knights. We know it's a very sensitive subject for some people. I'm gonna pull over to Tim though. I'll have him start.
It's a sensitive topic, so we're not going to spend a lot of time on this, but I just felt like this was something that was kind of noteworthy to bring up because, yeah, through 2 periods. Hang on, let me pull up the stats here real quick. Through 2 periods, I think the score is 2-2 between Chicago and Vegas in his debut, and that second goal Carter Hart gave up. Woof, Maron. That was brutal. Tries to go. You can tell he hasn't played in a while. Tries to go out, make a play on the puck, whiffs. Bertuzzi gets it, just chips it up and over him. Not a good look for the guy, but so far through 2 periods, he's given up 2 goals on 17 shots. So he's made a lot of good saves tonight, but that second goal, man, that just can't happen. You can just tell by how he's playing there's a little bit of rust to his game, which you'd come to expect in a guy who hasn't played in the NHL in what, 2 years?
2 years.
Something like that now?
Yeah.
But yeah. It's a noteworthy thing. I don't think we need to spend much more time on it than that.
He also,
unless you have something.
2 penalty minutes.
Oh, yes, that's right. He did the rare goalie taking a penalty, which, as a goalie myself, I can't say I've done it before. You try to weasel your way out of the call. Never works, especially when the ref's case against you is, I saw you stick your foot out, dude. That's what Carter Hart did. He stuck his foot out on a 2-on-1. Guy tried to cross his crease, just trips him up. Yeah, that's a penalty.
Yeah.
Speaking of more controversy, we go over to Winnipeg, where after that loss against Buffalo last night, Adam Lowry decides that it's time to call a closed door meeting, players only.
And he opened the meeting with this: how did we lose to Buffalo? By 4.
Honestly, he may have started the meeting with that.
Yeah.
Because
that Hellbuck, it's been rough.
Yeah. This stretch for Winnipeg is just not good. They are floundering hard. I think I saw Bartner said something. I think it was a TikTok he had. Although Cheveldayoff has had a lot of good moves over his tenure in Winnipeg, his past 9 months have been brutal.
Mm-hmm.
Gave up 2 second-round picks for Braden Shen and Brandon Tanev at last year's deadline, who gave you a combined 1 point, and that point coming from Shen.
Correction, Luke Shen.
Yes, Luke Shen, not Braden. Braden's actually the good one.
Yes.
Thank you for correcting me on that. But you have a combined 1 point out of the 2, and you give up 2 second-round picks. You don't bring back Nick Ehlers. You don't sign somebody to replace him. And your quote-unquote replacement is Jonathan Toews?
Toews. They brought in Pearson. They brought in Nyquist. Brought in guys who were just like, if this was like 5 or 8 years ago, those would be really good moves.
Well, yeah, good moves. Like you said, 5 or 8 years ago. But this is
these are guys way past their prime.
Yeah, you're bringing in guys who are almost pushing 35 years old, and then you lose the guy who single-handedly dragged you to a President's Trophy. Pretty sure they won that, right?
Yes.
Okay. And you lose the guy who dragged you to a President's Trophy, showed why he was the Hart Trophy winner last year.
Mm-hmm.
This stretch is proving that. As much as I try to dog at Connor Hellebuyck for his playoff woes, which, let's be honest, everyone does him for it. When it comes to the regular season, he is the most valuable player in the NHL. And you're seeing it right now with Winnipeg, how they have not been doing well when your tandem is Eric Comrie, and Thomas Milic? I think that's who they have up as the backup.
Yeah, Milic, yep.
Who, good prospect and all, but if you're a serious team like Winnipeg is, and this core is not getting any younger, I'm going to make a bold claim right now because I saw Chicago made him available to talk to teams. I'm I'm making a bold claim. Winnipeg's going out for a reunion with Laurent Brossois.
I could see that, but does Winnipeg have the Cav capital? That's the thing. Uh,
How expensive could he be to trade for though?
I don't know. He hasn't played a game for Chicago, so he's
In what the two Oh crap. Yeah, he hasn't played a game since he signed that contract either.
so he's also
Okay,
like
maybe
rusty. That's the thing about
okay,
Brossois.
never mind. Maybe we don't go there.
Um,
Yeah, I don't know what they do.
because I'll give Shelley off this. It is so hard to be the GM in Winnipeg.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It it's very tough to do it, and he's done a damn good job. These past 9 months have not been good. And I don't know what he's going to do to right the ship here, but you got to figure out something.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're, what, a wild card team right now? Bordering on.
They're out of a playoff spot right now. Like they're not in a playoff spot.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, and oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
they are.
they
Yeah, they're out by a little bit too.
yeah, they're four spots out of a wild card spot. Like,
That's
and they're only 2 points out of a wild card spot, though they played more games than Seattle has. In the division,
depending on how this Vegas Chicago game goes, Chicago could gain another point on them too.
St. Louis is a point behind them.
Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do. This is not a good spot for them. They've got to do something. I don't know what Chevy can do.
You need to right the ship somehow. Because you're not. I'll tell you right now, you're not going to repeat as Central Division. I can say right now, they're not going to win the Central
They're
Division.
not winning the division. There's no chance they're winning.
They're 18 points behind Colorado, so that's less.
I was gonna say that division might already be wrapped up by Colorado at this point.
Yeah.
Is that a stretch? With it being the 3rd of December? Yes.
Yeah.
But
I feel like because we had that trade freeze before Christmas, right?
oh, Chevy's gonna probably do something before that.
There'll be something before that if this continues. If not, I don't want to say Winnipeg can be a seller, but there's a world where they could be a seller.
I could see that. I have another move that they could do, and I know they're not going to want to do it.
Say it.
Han Arneal. Like, let's be honest, that's like one of the easiest things for GMs to do.
It is.
Just things aren't going well. Fire the coach.
Mm-hmm.
Pete DeBoer's available too. He would.
I know if firing Arneal after he won the presidency
is an extreme overreaction. Yes,
it's asinine. So
it shouldn't be done.
No,
that is why I was saying I don't see that happening. That is like worst case scenario.
Mm-hmm.
This continues, and by the time you hit Christmas, you're last in the West.
Yeah,
I feel like that's the only case in which Arneal gets fired, is if you're last in the Western Conference.
Mm-hmm. And I figured since we're gonna move on, first of all, that getting to we're in December now, so I thought we'd go over what I call goofy stats. These are just stats that like either you wouldn't expect them to be stats, or I told you them you would be. What you talking about? Like, come on. We've compared team stats, individual player stats, goalie stats. We got all the stats. And we have 10 of them that we're going to share with you. 5 each. We're going to go back and forth. And I'm going to have Tim start us off.
I kind of forgot we were limiting it to 5. I went to 7.
Oh, well, cut 2. Well, they have 2 also. 8 honorable mentions, I guess.
Well, my first one, I can just make it quick. And this is a sore spot for both you and I, James, as Sens and Wings fans. And it's even worse now after the game that just went final. Jesper Wallstedt, 4 shutouts his last 6 games. That just hurts.
Pierre Dorion will pay for his war crimes. He will pay for these war crimes.
I'm not kidding. I don't think he's going to keep up this type of heater. If he keeps doing this, dare I say Calder?
He will if he keeps up this
Dare
pace.
I say
Yeah,
Calder? Which will only just drive the knife even further into us.
it's between him and Schaefer. Like it's got to be between him and
Yeah.
Schaefer.
Well, staying on the topic of rookies, let's talk about the rookie leading point scorer, Beckett Seneca.
Really,
What a year he's had, man. That Ducks team in general is just fun.
they're very fun.
I love that. I love this
I've got
Ducks
to watch
team.
them a few times now. They're really fun to watch.
I love this Ducks team so much. Yeah, Seneca has 20. He's got 20. He's the only rookie with 20 points. Granted, Demidov and Schaefer are right behind him with 19 apiece.
Mm-hmm.
But Seneca leading the league in rookie points at 20 is not something I would have expected heading at the start of December.
Not on my bingo card. Not
No, but I'm here for it.
yes.
And then my other goofy ass stats. Let's just go over to goals here.
Okay. I was gonna
And
go.
you know where I'm going to start this thing.
Okay.
Morgan Geeky, second in the NHL in goals with 20. Where the hell did this come from?
I have a take on Morgan Geeky that I know I've kept it in the dark, and now I'm gonna say it now. He's the Zach Hyman of the East.
I mean, hey, I got no complaints with it.
He without Pasternak, he's not putting up this type of production.
He scored 2 against Detroit on Saturday. There's your only rebuttal to that. But
I mean,
he did nothing tonight.
every time I bet on Morgan Geeky to score a goal, though, it happens. So
Hey, we'll take it.
You
Then
won't
the
take
other one, tied for 5th in goals this year. Bo Horvat.
not on my bingo card. Like I don't think that'd be
He's
on.
got 16. He's got 16 already this year.
What's his career high? 33.
Uh,
I don't think he was a 40 goal scorer in Vancouver.
I don't think he was. I don't think he was. Hang on. Pulling this up real quick. His high is 33. Not in Vancouver. On the island.
Okay.
He got 33 in a Barry Trotz system. What the hell? And then I got one small one before I go to my biggest goofy ass stat of the year. Mikko Rantanen leading the league in penalty minutes. Granted, after tonight, that might not be the case because Zadorov got 14 minutes on one play.
Damn.
He took a double minor, and then he got a 10-minute misconduct right after in the third, so there's an additional 14 to him, so that might have Nikita Zadorov leading the league in penalty minutes, which that wouldn't surprise people, but Rantanen being second, yeah, that's a surprise.
Yeah, Rantanen has come out of this year. I don't know. Like I saw him play live this year in Ottawa. He was super aggressive. I've never seen even my Stars fan who I was with said he's never seen Mikko be so aggressive this year, and it's continued all year.
Yeah,
Is it a problem? It's not a problem till it becomes a problem. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's not like I don't think this is going to sustain that he'll finish top 5 in penalty minutes. I think it's just a matter of circumstances with him getting two game misconducts.
Here's the thing.
Pretty quick.
Here's the thing, though. He doesn't fight.
No, he doesn't. Like I said, I think this is just circumstantial with those 2 game misconducts that he got. I think that's where a lot of this is coming from. But my biggest goofy ass stat is a goalie stat. Sitting 6th in the league in goals save above expected. Devin Cooley of the Calgary Flames.
That was one of mine. So we're going to go back and forth. You took all the stats. Selfish. Anyway.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, one of mine was Devin Cooley, 188 goals against average and a .931. It's only been 10 games. He has the backup, but on the Calgary Flames, The Calgary Flames.
Oh yeah, makes no sense.
I also saw him play live. He was fantastic when I saw him play.
Yeah, amazing what happens when your game affirmation when your affirmation pre during and post game is we're all gonna die at some point. Amazing what that can do to a player. Like, that's probably one of the best clips I've ever seen. Well, we're all gonna die at some point, right? That's what I just keep telling myself if I have a bad day. Way to go, Devin.
Are you ready to hear my goofy ass stats?
Yes, I am.
One of them was Devin Cooley one, so that's off the board. But I got the team stats here. Do you want to know who is 28th in goals against? So this is that's basically the
Like
fourth most goals given
they've
up.
given up a lot of.
The
They've
fourth
given up
most goals in the
the
league.
fourth most. Yeah,
Montreal.
you know, I'm not gonna lie. It makes me smile.
They've given up. I don't know if this is before tonight's stat, but they've given up 90 goals on the year.
that makes me happy.
Um, for a team coming in who's seen as to be last year was bad defensively. This year they may have gotten worse defensively. It may to do with Gooley being out and Reinbacker not being in the lineup because I think he's in the AHL still. But
Yeah, and Montembeau just
Monomo being Swift cheap
having a
not
good
help at
year.
all. Yeah,
He's been
Monomo.
but
He's been
Jakub Dovish has come down from this heater that he started on.
yeah.
Almost like I called that because I said at the time a sub 1 goals against average is not sustainable, especially in today's NHL.
Yeah, Montreal's going through right now defensively and between the pipes. But let me tell you something. Ontario runs faceoffs in the NHL. The Sens and the Maple
Really?
Leafs are 1 and 2 in faceoff percentage. The Sens are first with 57.7, and Toronto is 56.5 on faceoffs.
This reminds me of the good old days of the Red Wings rebuild when all we had to brag about was Luke Glendening being top 5 in faceoffs.
I can speak for Ottawa. Stützle has been one of the he actually leads the league in faceoff percentage this year.
Oh, there you go.
I'm not 100% sure on that, but I know he's at least top 5. And then Toronto, both Ottawa and Toronto have really good center cores, so I'm not surprised at that. Um, the best power play in the league. I'm gonna ask you who you think it is, unless you saw it already.
I did not, but my guess would be Colorado.
33.3%. The Pittsburgh Penguins
Huh?
have the
Yeah.
best power play.
I beg your pardon? That's got yeah. Talk about a goofy ass stat of goofy ass stats.
Yeah,
There it is, ladies and gentlemen.
yeah. I don't know. I don't know. This Penguins team on paper, this is not a good team. But I don't understand. I don't. My math's not mathing. I guess. Like I don't.
Hold up. Was Dubas right the whole time in Toronto and they just didn't give him enough time?
We we don't got time for that.
No, we don't. that's just a fun shot at Toronto there.
And my last one, Matthew Schaefer is tied for third in goals by a defenseman.
I did know that only because I got him on my fantasy team.
Yeah, he has 8 goals. I believe the leader in goals is actually Jacob Chikrin with 10.
Now, how does that make you feel as a Suns fan?
I prefer Sanderson. So, I mean, I'm always happy for Chikrin. I'm glad he got his money. I'm glad he got paid. I'm just glad we didn't pay him. That's my only thing.
Yeah, that's fair.
And our two goalies. I'm just putting that as a stat here. Our two goalies, the starters we said, John Gibson and Elise Allmark, have some doo-doo save percentage. It's like 876.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about that. Hey, Gibson got a win tonight. That's all I care about.
Allmark got a win tonight, so that's all that matters.
Gibson got a win. We're back in a playoff spot, and so are you.
Heading into the NCAA Corner.
Oh yeah.
What happened this week?
Well, it was a pretty light week with it being Thanksgiving down here in the States, or as you like to call it,
Thursday.
Exactly.
Yep.
So there wasn't really a lot going on. I think the biggest shock of the weekend was Minnesota, who by their standards has not been good at all this year. Went to Denver and beat Denver.
Javon Moore OT winner.
Michigan had a scare against Harvard. That was really thought there was going to be something there. I wanted that to happen, but it didn't. But that all sets up what's going to happen this weekend, and it's another one number one versus number three matchup in the Big Ten. Michigan State, Michigan State. It's the weekend I always look forward to. It's the weekend that always gives me the most anxiety. It's gonna be a tough weekend, not tough week. It's gonna be a stressful weekend for me, but I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be two very good games. Michigan is a lot better than I thought they would be going into the year. Granted, they hit the CHL portal hard.
Yeah.
Most of their key contributors are from there. Granted, I can't really talk. Our leading scorer is Porter Martone. But yeah, turns out all Michigan has needed the past few years was a good goalie. And they've got one with Jack Ivankovic. He has been great. So with that, I will go into my top 10 for the week. I had my top 10. No, I didn't have a lot of change with this one. Michigan still at 1. Kills me to say. Michigan State's at 2. Wisconsin at 3. The only change was Duluth and Denver. I have Duluth at 4. Denver's at 5. Western Michigan at 6. North Dakota at 7. Maine is at 8. Penn State at 9. And Quinnipiac at 10. And I want to give an honorable mention here to a team that I probably should have put in, but I forgot about when I was making the list. I want to shout out Dartmouth.
Okay.
In the AP poll, Dartmouth, I believe, is number 10. I think they're 8-0 currently on the year, or somewhere damn close to that. They've had a really good year, and they needed a little more recognition, and I failed to recognize them for that. So I want to give a shout out to Dartmouth real quick.
Okay. That's really we're gonna go into some hot topics on sports. We're probably gonna just talk about the college football, what's going on there, because it was rivalry week this past week. And some things happened, but I wanted to first, before we get into that, I'm gonna reveal it to you. If you follow the Instagram, which I know you follow the Instagram, because
I hope you do at least.
we post a lot of graphics on there, and what we've been posting all year is college football bracket. And I make that every week. I have help with Tim. Do I get it right all the time? No, I don't. Does Tim give me bad advice? Sometimes. But I'm going to reveal, because it was not out yet, where I'm going to reveal my bracket right now. And we're going to start from 12. We're going to go to 1. We're going to go 1-12. Tim, what do you think?
Let's go to 1 to 12. I think that's a little bit.
Right. Number 1, I still have I don't know how many weeks in a row now. I still have Indiana. I think Indiana's played actual opponents. Ohio State, their toughest test was Texas, and they won. That was at the start of the year. They haven't really played anyone close since. Like they've had a pretty cupcake schedule, if I'm going to be honest here.
They have had a cupcake schedule, but their largest deficit came this weekend against Michigan. Their largest deficit is 6 points.
Mm-hmm.
They are a damn good team.
They're a very good team, which is why I have them at number 2. And these two are going to be facing off this weekend in the Big Ten championship game, which that's going to be a very good game. I won't be able to watch it, unfortunately, but
I think regardless of this game, I think both of these teams, regardless of the
outcome, locks. Both of them are locks. Yeah,
not just locks. I think both of these two teams deserve buys when we get the final college football playoff bracket.
So I'm going to say this right now. Let's say Ohio State beats Indiana. Do you think Indiana should still be top 4?
Yes. Okay. Yes. I don't think I cannot name 3 teams that have been better than Indiana this season. Okay. Even with a loss to Ohio State, who the poll themselves have at 1, Indiana should not fall beyond 4. They deserve a top 4 seed. They deserve a bye in the college football playoff.
I agree with that fully. Number 3, I had a little tough time. We had a little because Texas A&M, they lost to their bitter rival in Texas,
Which
who
gave us a bunch of controversy there.
did. I put Texas Tech at number 3. I feel like I was disrespecting them a little bit in the earlier polls. I feel like Texas Tech is a damn good football team. I feel like they've earned the right to be the 3rd seed.
Yeah, I don't hate that. I think my biggest dispute comes with this next one.
I have Oregon at 4. I don't know what it is. I just feel like Oregon. I do say Oregon. I can't say Oregon beat Penn State because Penn State's not good. State's went downhill this year, so I can't really put that as their signature victory. They lost to Indiana by 10, I believe. Um, I just feel like they've been destroying folks outside of that. I feel like Oregon deserves a little more respect. Could I have Georgia above them? Yeah, I could, but I don't want to do that. This is my
Do I,
bracket. I'm the
do,
I'm the committee, so that's why
do
I
I need to call you out on some bias here or no?
you can call me on a bias.
But yeah, I think looking at through the top 5 so far, that's probably my only complaint. Looking at it, I got a complaint a little later on, but we'll get to that.
Number 5, I got the Georgia Bulldogs. This team could be number 4, but I feel like, or I have a slight edge over Oregon over them. But Dogs have been a damn good team all year. Only loss coming to Alabama. So they've beaten teams who are actually on this even in this bracket as well. So I think Georgia at 5 is pretty good. Number 6, I got Ole Miss. I didn't want to dock Ole Miss because of the Lane Kiffin syndrome, which we will get into in a couple
Well,
minutes.
speaking of controversy,
Or we can just talk about that now.
yeah,
Um,
let's get into that because
so it,
there is from what we thought we thought this whole drama was done. No, there's more to it now.
mhm. I've heard. So I'm gonna say I'm gonna get to my point is that now y'all know I do cheer for Tennessee. I also cheer a little bit for Michigan State, but Tim won't let me do that.
I mean, I will. I just won't let you claim us.
Um, but Lane Kiffin coached Tennessee for 1 season and then left. He just left for another job immediately after. And I'm gonna say this: once a snake, always a snake.
He went to
Oh,
USC after you guys, right?
yeah.
Was gonna say I thought that's where he went.
Yeah, once a snake, always a snake. Lane Kiffin, I don't want to come on here and just bash him as a person, but like when you've done this multiple times now,
He is who he is. Like
yes.
we can just keep it
There was a
above.
whole documentary about him, and then guess what? They got to go back and redo it now because he left this. Just,
Yeah.
I am I surprised he left Ole Miss? I'm not. LSU's got the money, they got the pull, they got the brand.
It is a far superior. It is a quote unquote far superior job in college football. I'd say I would go as far as to say LSU is a top 5 job in all of college football in general.
I wouldn't argue that with you, but I feel like what you built at Ole Miss. Now you think about Ole Miss next season, like you see all of those. The portal's going to be active, and they're all going to LSU. Not all of them, but like you're going to see a good chunk of players go to LSU.
I'm glad you brought that up because I don't know if they will because of what Ole Miss did. So yes, there's all this stuff with Lane Kiffin, and then they had a meeting with all the players. They tried to get the players to keep all their phones or to turn all their phones in. One guy brought in a burner phone, recorded it. I don't remember what that was. Haven't seen that video, but I've heard that a guy brought a burner phone in to the meeting. But what Ole Miss did, instead of just doing a full coaching search, Ole Miss named their defensive coordinator. They named their defensive coordinator as their head coach.
X notes. X notes.
Yeah, still couldn't find it. I don't want to take all the time to look for it, but the Ole Miss names their defensive coordinator as So Ole Miss, what they did was in an attempt to keep the roster and keep everything that they had built through Lane Kiffin, they hired their defensive coordinator Pete Golding in order to not lose a bunch of guys to the portal and lose them to LSU. And then there was more stuff that came out today. Charlie Weiss, their offensive coordinator, he got on the plane to Baton Rouge with Lane Kiffin at the time. Lane allowed him to go back to Ole Miss to coach during the playoff. So I don't know if Charlie Weiss is on, if he's on LSU staff. Is he on Ole Miss's staff? What the hell is going on here?
Yeah. There's. I also got some other stuff about Lincoln. Like the airport, he was booed the shit out of, which rightfully so. Um.
Shout out Marty Smith of ESPN though. That man was a trooper.
Also, he left his dog behind.
I think no, that was blown
He-
out of proportion. That wasn't actually his dog.
yeah, I know. I just.
It's just better to say it was his dog.
Yeah,
I understand.
But yeah, that whole situation. I feel bad for Ole Miss fans. Like they finally get their best season. I think this is their best season ever.
Oh yeah, it was their best season in program history. The first time they've ever had 11 wins.
What would be funny is Ole Miss. Here's the thing: Ole Miss wins the Natty without Kiffin.
That it's funny because LSU agreed to give Lane all of his Ole Miss bonuses. So if Ole Miss wins the Natty without Lane Kiffin, LSU will be paying Lane Kiffin that bonus money.
Oof.
Weird times here.
One. Yeah, so that's the whole Ole Miss. It's circus.
It's something, that's for sure.
Number 7, I put Oklahoma. Um, they had a scare against LSU, I'm pretty sure, this week, didn't they?
Yeah. They definitely did have a scare against Oklahoma, but I tend to agree with you here. They should be at 7. Am I reading this right? Did you put Texas Tech twice?
I did. I have A&M at 8.
Okay. That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, I got A&M at 8.
That's probably where they deserve to go after the game they put up against Texas.
Like that. Did you watch that game at all?
I watched the last half of it.
Okay. Yeah,
I watched the second half I watched, but yeah, it didn't look good.
It didn't look good.
Texas ran all
Dante
over
Moore, right? Is that his name or am I
who?
their quarterback?
No, Dante Moore's at Oregon.
Marcel Reed, excuse me.
Yeah, Marcel Reed. There we go.
Marcel Reed, excuse me. Yeah,
Dante Moore's at Oregon. That guy's from Michigan. I
Yeah,
know he's not at A&M.
Yeah, Marcel Reed did not have a great second half. I watched second half; it did not look great. A&M, it's just the most A&M thing. They go undefeated all year, then they play Texas and lose.
Yeah, that was like. Granted, did it help that Marcel Reed got hurt in the first half? No, it didn't help him. But even if he was fully healthy, I don't know if it would have made that much of a difference because A&M cannot beat Texas. For the life of them, they cannot beat Texas. It is just what they do. You come to expect it at this point with them, but yeah, I don't hate them at 8.
The only thing I like about Texas and Oklahoma being in the SEC is that we get this rivalry back because it's one of the best in college football.
Yeah, that is one of the good things, getting A&M and Texas back. College football needed that back, and I'm glad we have it back.
Number 9, I got Alabama.
Yeah.
They had a scare against Auburn.
They did.
But they won. So I could give them a little respect here. I didn't want to put them above A&M, though. A&M.
No, they shouldn't be above A&M. I think the top 8, my only argument in the top 8 would be Georgia over Oregon, but that's just splitting hairs.
Mm-hmm.
But Alabama at 9, I'm not mad at. I feel like the problem with this is it almost insulates Alabama. Mm-hmm. And what I mean by that is if they lose to Georgia in the SEC title game, which I think they will, it won't hurt them enough to get them out of the playoff picture.
A 3-loss Alabama team you think still gets in?
I think a 3-loss Alabama team who made the SEC title game will still get it. Yes.
Okay.
Simply because they made the SEC title game. Do I fully agree with it? No. But I think that's how I just have a gut feeling that's how it's going to go, that this Alabama team at 3 losses will get into the playoff because their 3rd loss came in the SEC title game.
I'll do a counter when we get to my first out. But number 10, I don't agree with this fully because I think they shouldn't be in the playoff. But just knowing the committee, I got Notre Dame at 10.
And you were right knowing the committee because that is exactly what they did. They threw Notre Dame at 10. I would not have put Notre Dame at 10. I think you and I both agree it should be Miami above Notre Dame.
For me, we respect head to head here. I don't know about the committee, but in my bracket, I respect the head to head. That's why Oklahoma is above Alabama. I'll be honest, that's probably the only reason they're above Alabama. I'm not gonna lie, actually, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, Notre Dame is here. Number 11, I put Virginia. I think, in my eyes, I think Virginia is the best ACC team
outside of Miami.
But yeah,
But Virginia's in the ACC title game, whereas Miami is not. So
and if Virginia
they win, Virginia will probably end up in the college football playoff as one of the highest
group of
as one of the highest
power.
5 conference champions. So they will get in if they win. Part of me wants to see the chaos if Duke wins. Just for the fact of how the hell is the committee going to do that?
Mm-hmm.
You have a 5-loss Duke team win the ACC. How are you going to handle that? That's like the crazy person in me wants to see that. But I also don't think we should even get to that point because Miami, it shouldn't even be at this point. The ACC is just weird with all their tiebreakers and everything to even allow a 5-loss team in the conference title game.
I like Virginia. I like to see Virginia win the ACC. So
yeah.
But like I said, the crazy person in me is like, what if 2 Power 5 schools get in instead?
What if 2 Group of 5 schools get in?
What about James Madison and Tulane?
Tulane or North Texas? What if Tulane or North Texas? What if it'll be Tulane or North Texas? What if James Madison wins? What are you going to do there? I want to see what they do. I want to see it, but I don't want to see it.
Speaking of Tulane, I have Tulane at 12.
And I agree with that.
So my matchups are Tulane at Georgia, Virginia at Ole Miss, Notre Dame at Oklahoma, and Alabama at A&M.
That's a good set of games. And speaking of Tulane, I want to give a big. I don't know how to put this, but I appreciate Florida. Now, for those who don't know, Florida is one of 5 SEC teams who hired a new head coach.
Yes.
Florida is still allowing Tulane's head coach, John Summerall. He's now Florida's head coach, but they are still allowing John Summerall to coach Tulane in the conference title game.
Yeah.
And up and through the playoff until
they're letting him end his tenure. Yeah.
Yes, they're letting him do that, which I respect. Now, if you're LSU with Lane Kiffin, we don't need to go back into that.
Kiffin asked, and they said no.
Exactly, which I don't blame them. But for Florida to allow John Summerall, who, in my opinion, I think that was the second best hire of this coaching cycle.
Yeah, Summerall's a good coach.
This was the second or third best hire of the coaching cycle. And so I think Summerall's a great coach. He told all the guys who committed to him at Tulane, he said, I'm not there. I still go to Tulane, commit to the program. Don't just commit to me. Do not follow me to Florida.
Okay.
So I respect that as well out of him. I think that's very good out of him. I'm very interested to see what he does at Florida. Then we had, who are the other big hires in the SEC? We had Alex Golish go to Auburn out of USF.
I like that hire.
I really liked that hire too. That was, I think, in my top, if I were to rank it, I think that was my 4th or 5th bet. That was my 6th favorite hire just because there were some other ones that I liked a little bit more. Um, I really liked Mora going from UConn to Colorado State. The Pac
Yeah, that
Colorado State in the Pac-12 now gets some oomph. I think Mora's a damn good coach. He did really well at UConn. He will, and I think he's going to do great things at Colorado State. An
I think
underrated hire was
I'm gonna. I say my. I say I like Bob Chesney. To
I
UCLA.
I forgot about that one. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's a
Him going from
really good
James
hire
Madison to
too.
UCLA. UCLA is a program. I'm gonna put it very frank. They're a program in shambles. They good.
They
And
need someone.
seeing how Chesney, he was good at the D3 level, great at the D2 level, and then he went to the Power Five round, got James
Group
Madison
of five,
20-4 in 2 seasons at James Madison.
group of five level.
Yes, Group of Five level. Excuse me. Um, I really do like that hire by UCLA.
Yeah, he was a guy. Chesney was a guy I would have wanted. He was one of the guys on my. Granted, I have no pull, but he was one of the guys on my short list for Michigan State. Another hire that I liked was Oklahoma State hiring North
Eric,
Texas's coach.
Eric Morris.
Yes, I loved that hire. You keep Eric Morris in his main pipeline of like that Texas South area. I think that will be really well for Oklahoma State. They might even get North Texas's quarterback to follow the coach.
Mhm.
Which, if you hit on the quarterback, great. I've seen the opposite. If you don't hit on the quarterback, which leads me into our hiring and the firing of Jonathan Smith at Michigan State. It was 2 years, which I think that might have been a little short for him, but this second year to almost go winless in the Big Ten just was unacceptable. We missed on Childs, and when you miss on a quarterback, it makes the coach look bad. I don't think Jonathan Smith's a bad head coach, but I think it just unfortunately things ran its course here. We went the we hired Pat Fitzgerald, the former Northwestern head coach, and man, am I fired up after listening to his press conference, his introductory press conference today. That man has me wanting to run through a wall already. And then he was out at the Breslin Center for the basketball game today, and just even more, I want to run through a wall. I'm ready to go through a wall for this guy. He has that Spartan DNA of like what Mark D'Antonio was here at Michigan State. I think he's going to do very great. I think he's going to do a lot of great things here, especially with the backing of the donor support, which it sounds like he's going to get. I'm excited. I
Mhm.
think this next era of Michigan State football is going to be a good one.
I think Fitzgerald was probably, I'll be honest, in my eyes, that's probably one of the best hires on mine. I have an underrated hire. I like Will Stein going from Oregon to Kentucky.
Yes, that's a good hire too.
Will Stein was their OC this year. And you've seen what Oregon has been doing.
Yeah.
Um, I'm trying to think of any other hires. I'll be honest, Ryan Silverfield doesn't move me.
No, that doesn't move me at all with Arkansas. But are you ready to hear about Penn State versus a Cookie Mongol?
I need to hear this, yes, because you told me this before we started, and I'm like, we'll see. I didn't hear about it, so I'm here to hear it now.
So, as you know, Penn State fired James Franklin. Unlike most teams, Penn State fired James Franklin without a plan. They didn't have a backup plan. They fired James Franklin because he wasn't cutting it, even though he was a field goal away from the national championship last year. Now, did he have some problems this year? Yes. No one can deny that. So Penn State recently was trying to hire BYU's head coach. I cannot remember his name for the life of me, and it's a weird name to try to pronounce. So, out of respect to the guy, I will not try to pronounce it. But they tried to hire him. So BYU, they tried to get a bunch of backing around it, and the CEO of Crumble Cookie he's either a graduate or he's one of the top donors at BYU. He saw all this, posted on Twitter. Well, looks like it's time for me to get off the sidelines and step into the ring. So he gets into the fight, and it turns into this whole like quote unquote war of Penn State versus the Cookie Mongol and the Mormons. The Mormons and the Cookie Mongol won. This guy is choosing BYU over Penn State.
And he said in an interview that Penn State would be his dream job.
Yes, and he still chose to stay at BYU. And speaking of BYU, I'm wondering where you had them on your ranking.
Yeah, so we're going through. We kind of got a little off topic, but my
We
first
went
two,
off
my,
topic with coaching.
my first two out are BYU and Texas.
Texas,
Texas. I thought about Miami, but
not Miami. I think it. That's gonna that if you want to spark controversy, there's controversy.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. If Alabama loses, whose resume is better, Texas or Alabama?
BYU.
Exactly. So I feel like BYU would get in over both of them.
Well, yeah, but I feel like Miami should also be in there anyways. Granted, Notre Dame shouldn't be above Miami because, like you said, we respect the head-to-head around here.
Hmm.
So it should be Miami above Notre Dame. I think Miami should firmly be in the playoff.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, they're at 11, right under um right under BYU.
Mm-hmm.
But we have to go off who we think will get into the playoff is how we're doing our bracket, not what our rankings are. Because if we go off rankings, Miami and BYU are 11 and 12, I think.
So just very quickly here. I'm gonna say what happens in these games. I want you to see who you think would be replacing in the bracket, or if there's any movement at all. Indiana beats Ohio State.
Uh,
I'm not gonna lie. I think Ohio State would just be number 2, and Indiana would be number 1.
yeah, I don't think, in terms of how the bracket looks, there's no change. Both teams still get a bye.
If Ohio State beats Indiana, I think Indiana falls to number 4, and Ohio State stays at 1.
Indiana should still, even if they lose, they should still get a bye. They should be a top 4 team in the country.
The Big 12 championship game,
BYU, Texas Tech.
and that's a rematch.
Yes, if Texas Tech loses, I think Texas Tech should still be in, even if they lose.
Texas Tech will probably. I think my thing. I have them at 3. I think they'll fall to maybe like 7 or 8.
They will fall. BYU
gets in. BYU. There's no way BYU can't. You can't.
Yeah, well, BYU will get in if they win. BYU will jump into the top 10 regardless, and they would get in. So yeah, that would give you BYU and Texas Tech.
ACC. If Duke wins, then shit goes bananas.
Yeah, I don't know what. Well, because then shit goes bananas, and you have to have the Big Ten, the SEC, and the Big 12 conference champion, whoever those are. Then you have to go with whoever wins the American. That's Texas. No, that's North Texas. That's Tulane. It's one of those two. And then you probably throw in James Madison, which I don't know. The committee probably doesn't want to put James Madison in, but based off their own rules, they have to put James Madison in because they would be the 5th highest conference champion.
Yeah, because Duke has 5 losses, so there's no
You're
shot
not
they're gonna put. And if
They're
they're
not putting a 5-loss team in.
and if they put Duke in, that's a travesty.
They're not. They won't. They will not put a 5-loss team in. I can almost promise you that.
Unless they change their parameters going forward too, they should be the highest, the best record of the conference. For example, then that would be Miami, then wouldn't it?
Yeah. Then it would be Miami, and Miami should be. Granted, Miami should be in regardless.
I don't know. The ACC is like weird.
But the other thing I was thinking of, let's say Virginia loses. I don't know if the committee has the guts to tell I don't know if they have the guts. 2, I don't know if they'll want to tell a Power 4 conference no. So if Virginia loses,
they might still,
Miami will get. I think Miami will get in because they don't want to open that can of worms of not including the ACC at all.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't include the ACC at all, that conference is going to crumble.
I'm going to say that would be like people would start to leave. Like,
but you look at Clemson, you look at North Carolina, all these bigger schools. Miami as well.
Florida
If you look at
State,
all these bigger
Florida State,
schools,
Clemson, North Carolina.
yeah, you look at those four, they're all going to leave. They will all leave the ACC because they don't see it as a premier conference anymore if you don't have an ACC representative. So if Virginia loses, that will mean Miami gets in just because the committee will not let the ACC go
Can I say,
representativeless.
I say this and you not get mad at me? I mean, Clemson and the SEC might go hard.
I'm here for it.
Like I think they're an SEC school.
I like it.
Last and then sorry, we covered ACC, we covered Big 12, and yeah, that's really about it then.
The SEC.
If Georgia's in regardless, so if Georgia wins,
Georgia's in. All this turns into is how high do they put Alabama?
If Alabama loses, I can see a world where Alabama is not in the playoff.
I can see a world where they're not in, but then it would turn it into the whole debate. Oh, you're punishing them for losing a conference title game.
Who would 9-3 Alabama or 10-3 Alabama or 11-1 BYU?
BYU.
Yeah. So then that's the end of my argument.
Especially if BYU wins and Alabama loses, you have to put in BYU.
Yeah.
Alabama should not make the playoff if they lose the SEC title game. I just have a bad feeling that they will.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, last thing, we went over hires. I forgot to mention James Franklin. How do you feel about that hire?
I love that hire, dude.
Mm-hmm.
That Virginia Tech's going to go hard in the ACC now.
And now they've swayed some, and some of them, they've gotten free 5-star recruits or free 4-star recruits, to flip to Virginia Tech.
Penn State is in shambles.
It seems like no one wants that job.
Well, because Penn State. So that's the thing. Penn State thinks they're on this Ohio State level, which you fired the only guy to get you to that Ohio State level.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're not winning the money. Like, you're not winning. Everyone has money now. You're not winning this, oh, we have all this money for you argument. You're not winning it now.
Yeah.
And that's the problem for them is they can't win this argument, like this debate of like, oh, we can pay you X amount of money when everyone has money. So they need to make a hire. They need to make one fast because signing day is coming up. And right now they have a worse recruiting class than Harvard.
Yeah, no, they have a worse recruiting class. Like I saw the list of Liberty, UL Monroe. Like it's they
have a very, very low recruiting class ranking because Franklin took all of his top commits.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're going to
do. We'll see. I think that's where we're going to call it here. Any final thoughts?
Let the chaos commence for rivalry weekend, and let's go Michigan State beat Michigan.
I'm going to say we know it's a hockey podcast. We kind of went on a whole college football tangent there, but I hope you enjoyed that. Anyway, this is LeBlanc James. That's Tim Egler, and this is the Northern Block Pod without the Nord this time. We'll see you in the next episode. See ya.
I just do what I do. See me? I just do what I do. Man, I just do what I do. To know if I do, I just do what I do. Check. That's the intro. See that? Yeah. I just do what I do. See me? I just do what I do. Yo, check. Let me flip this script. I feel privileged for all who can witness this. I am close to divine. Know the moment is mine, need no omen or sign. I sprint. Providing a back sound to all the squares that ask around. Be getting it. My skills pay me. Trying to get $1 million, baby, with an adopted flow that God gave me. me now. Tell whoever runners that they spot is temporary till I take it as mine. I'm selfish, you will. Tell Miss I'm on my wealth tip. So when we cash out soon, I'm just investing. Hey, no yes men. I've been a legend since before mom and dad had me and was best friends. I chew through comp, don't test them. I chew on tracks, cause after that I bless them. I just do what I do. You see me? I just do what I do. I just do what I do. I don't know about you. I just do what I do. Check. I just do what I do. You see me? I just do what I do.